Good day everyone! Thank you for joining today's Summer Creative Retreat Workshop hosted by the Pigeon Lenders Peggy. And my name is Thea. I am Thea.ong from Instagram and I'm a watercolor artist. So today's workshop is we're going to use watercolors painting this colorful jellyfish. So I hope you have your materials ready and let's get started!
The materials we'll be using today are, first, the watercolor paper. I'm using Canson XL Aquarelle. It's 300 GSM, 140 pounds, and it's cold press watercolor paper. So, cold press watercolor paper has textures that can easily absorb water. Next material are the brushes. The brushes that I'll be using are round brushes. First one is from Silver Black. It's a Silver Black Velvet round number 6. And the second one is Raphael Kyrell round brush number 1. So I also have this brush rest from a very good friend of mine from Oats DIY. I will also be using this non-spill water cup from Tokyo Finds. It also has a brush rest on top. And for the paints, I'll be using these Viviva watercolor sheets. These watercolor sheets are highly pigmented and very portable. They can bring them anywhere, anytime, and it's very eco-friendly because basically it's just paper. Next is I'm going to use the Bento Picasso 90s. It has lots of colors, but for this one I'll be using the metallic ones for add-ons on our jellyfish. And lastly, I'll be using my favorite mechanical pencil. It's a die-tooth shake pencil. So what's fun about this is that you can shake it and then the lead will just come out. So these are all the materials that I'll be using and we're about to begin. I usually get the angle of the jellyfish, how it is facing or where the center is. So I get the center and how high it is or how wide it is gonna be. So I'm going to sketch the head of the jellyfish first and also the underhead or underneath the head. So those are the things that we will be sketching. So when you sketch, always sketch lightly, something that you can easily erase and adjust. I believe I'll keep on adjusting and erasing the shape of this jellyfish. And I also suggest that you sketch it with me, and so that all our jellyfish will be in our original sketch form. So it's just an easy sketch. It's like a mushroom or a mushroom head, or this is a box jellyfish. So it's one of the common jellyfish that we usually see, and we keep on adjusting and erasing until we are happy with the sketch that we like. This part, so I'll be separating the top part of the head and also sketching the lower part of the head, the insides. Okay. I will also be adding some line details, and the left side will be a little curves facing the right, while on the right side are curves facing the left. I think I am happy with this sketch, so we are now ready to paint. First, we will do a wet on wet technique. So wet the sides of the jellyfish head first. So first drop of color will be here on the sides, and we will leave the center white, so there's a negative space at the center of the jellyfish. I'll be using my Viviva watercolor sheets. The color I'll be using is ocean blue. So this is the lightest blue on the color sheets, and it's better to go light than go dark right away, so we can easily do some second layering. And here I already dropped the colors onto the wet paper, and we will do some variegated wash. So I will be adding a second color, which is violet, and I'll be mixing them into the paper and let it do some variegation, and also do a little of the lifting technique to blend and make the jellyfish head look more natural and blended easily. On this part, I also outlined the middle part and the half of the head, and I'll be doing some lifting techniques using a second brush without any paint on it. So this Carrel brush, Raphael Carrel brush, is basically just water. So I am picking up the pigments from what's already in the paper. Jellyfish are basically 90+% water, so it's up to you what color you like to use. So I'm using a little of the blue, purple, and magenta colors. But if you like to go blue and green, it's totally fine. If you like to go with the pink jellyfish, it's totally fine. Next, here is I'm going to do a wet on wet on the oral arms of the jellyfish. These are the like solid tentacles. Looks like a tentacles, but they are actually oral arms, and that's coming from the middle part. And after doing the wet on wet effect, I'll be doing some stippling brush strokes, and I'll be using my other brush to lighten it up as well. So then wet on wet first before actually dropping those paints. And as usual, we will be doing variegated wash, so I'll be adding violet and also some magenta colors. Again, I'll be doing a stippling or dot strokes, and some will look very pigmented and some will look very light, just a very light wash. As you can see, only the silver black velvet brush has the pigments, while the Raphael Carrel brush is just basically water on it, just to lighten up the colors. So we really, for our painting to pop, we need some contrast, and we need to show the light and the dark of the painting. And So more water, it will become more light, and more pigment, it becomes more dark. So when the head of the jellyfish is already dry, I'll do some additional glazing and darken some parts, or even glaze with another color. So here I'll be darkening the details and making those line details on the jellyfish's head more visible. And then if I get those hard edges, hard lines, I usually use water to blend it well. Define those lines under the head and on top of the head, and then use another color, or if you want to do some variegated wash, use water to blend them well. So the colors I'm using are mainly the blues, the purples, and the magenta color, and I keep on alternating with these three colors. So making a light wash and a variegated wash, and doing lifting techniques to blend them well. So after doing all the blending and the variegated wash, we are now ready to paint the tentacles of the jellyfish. In order to do this, we need to make our brush stand up. Only the tip should be touching the paper, and make a thin, wavy lines as the tentacles of our jellyfish. So make the consistency of this tentacles to be less water, more paint, and it should be in a very dark consistency. Okay? It's up to you if you like to do it upstrokes or downstrokes. So just make it wavy and keep it in the middle on top of the oral arms of the jellyfish.
The tentacle lines will be coming out from the detailed lines from the jellyfish's head. So I'm keeping them in the center. Make sure they stay thin and wavy. And I make this big wavy lines to keep them in the center and balance them all throughout. So once you're done creating one line, you can pause and take a look, see if everything is balanced, and just keep it thin and also make them look really visible, less water, more on the paint. I'm doing a second layer of those tentacles so that they will look more visible. So do check yours and see if you need to do a second layer, second glazing of those lines, and make sure you're using less water to make a more darker consistency. Once you are happy with all those tentacles, make sure that they are balanced and not too much tentacles as well. We can now move to another detail, and I'm using the pearlized paints from the Bento Picasso 90s from Tokyo Finds. So I'm using the white pearlized paint over here, and then adding another tentacle. So this one has a white effect. An alternative for this one is you can use white gel pen. So that's a guaranteed way that it will stay thin. And also you can use white acrylic paints or white poster paints just to add white light tentacles. I will just be fixing a few details using some water to blend out some parts, to smoothen out some hard lines. So you may also do that, and also make sure that those tentacles will not be washed away with the water. And this hard line, I'll just be adding a second layer of light wash just to get rid of that hard line part on the oral arms of the jellyfish. If you like to add some textures on the jellyfish, you may do so. So you can add more glazing and some more finishing touches on your jellyfish. Once again, I'm getting the pearlized color and I'm getting the bronze and just adding some water, making the consistency more wet, and I will do some splatter effect, okay, and using another brush to tap on the first brush. So these are small particles, and I'm using the pearlized so that it has this metallic reflection, and I'm making some bigger dots randomly using the bronze gold-like metallic pearlized paint. And that's it. We're finished with our colorful box jellyfish. So check out the materials that I use. Do ask me about them, chat with me over Instagram. I'll be happy to answer all your questions. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed today's workshop on painting this colorful jellyfish. Thank you once again for joining today's workshop. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot. Also, do check out the rest of the schedule of the Summer Creative Retreat and learn from more amazing artists. Do check out my social media pages. Follow me on Instagram. That's thea.ong. And thank you so much, the Pigeon Leathers, for hosting this amazing retreat. And to everyone, keep on creating, and I hope you really enjoyed today, and I'll see you around. Bye!